Welcome to another evening of Minneapolis by Night. This is a vampire gathering, and tonight we have a diverse group uh, meeting with the Artery, a gangrel, or professed gangrel at least, of indeterminate age, who is claimed leadership over Minneapolis, while the prince appears to be missing or have vacated his post. As does the former Baron of St. Paul. The Artery has claimed dominion over both of them. He's explicitly stated that he is not of the Camarilla, but he will respect their ways, utilize them in as far as they make sense, and for the most part just try his best to ignore them, and they'll be expecting them to do the same. He has moved into the chambers that were the former basement of the Green Dragon Chantry. After said chantry exploded and burned down, the caverns remained intact below ground, and he has unearthed the way down. The remainder of that property has been turned into a sort of a public garden park sitting area. So this evening he will be, it's a relatively quiet evening. Miscellaneous other vampires do come and go. It is open to other supernaturals as well, but tonight you don't really see any in attendance offhand. But he set up a sort of a forum area, various chairs, benches, stools, floor mats, what have you, where people can come in, sit, and converse in a more civil, less formal environment, so to speak. And as you all enter, he's sitting in his fairly elaborate, looks almost like it was carved from a wooden stump or even grown and pruned, but elaborate chair, drinking obviously fresh blood out of what looks like a mead horn.
Hold tight, just so I understand. He has a tree chair, and he's drinking blood out of a hole.
Right. Giving credence to his claim that he's gangrel, he does have fairly animalistic features as well.
Cool. Well, I guess since he's welcoming us in, I'm going to look around at everyone, and I'm going to sit down.
Okay. When you sit, he does ask if you would care for a drink.
I have already fed.
He nods his head and he says, well, very well. Courtesy dictates that I at least offer drink and rest to my guests.
That gesture is appreciated.
He says, I don't believe we've formally met. I am the... Well, call me Rudry.
Oh, I recall myself introducing myself to your court, as it were, but we have not formally met each other, no. I am Maria.
Yes, well, introductions are, of course, well and good in the protocol. It's not the same as meeting someone, so to speak. So, nice to meet you in person, face to face, without the protocols. Marcus, I saw your charisma etiquette. What were you rolling with the intent for?
So he acts appropriate for the psycho in front of him.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, go ahead.
Apparently not.
Oh God.
You know there's some protocols in place, but you'll be damned if you know what they are.
He shakes his head. He looks confused. He walks in. He says, "Jacob Jones, you're the Ardree. You've now been introduced. I have grievances."
Well, blunt and to the point. Military man, I would imagine?
Picked up on that, did you?
Well, if you
Where would you like me to stand, sir?
stand, sit, wherever you're comfortable. You mentioned some grievances, but I see we have some other guests, so perhaps we'll let everyone introduce themselves. And that way, if anyone shares your grievances, we're not repeating ourselves and wasting time.
Roger that.
That would be Marcella, Jillian, and Lucian then?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucian will walk in, politely nod to him, and just kind of stand off to the side.
And he'll nod back and say, noticed you around. I assume you're a man of few words, but I am Rudry of Clan Gangrel and current administrator, if you will, of the city. We're having a casual discussion.
Yeah, so I've heard. I'm more here to listen in.
Well, the part of effectively communicating is listening, so that's much appreciated as well. But feel free to add in anything you have to offer. The conversation is more beneficial and it's not one-sided.
I will say I am Lucian Vandal of Clan Assimilate.
Yes, I was given to understand that your clan had a reasonably substantial presence in the city, so
He just smiles.
Maria raises her eyebrow.
Good thing is, everybody knows he can't diablerize anybody. Woot!
well, I mean, he could. It just doesn't end well for anyone.
Yeah, true.
Alright. I'm assuming somewhere in here Marcella and Jillian will enter.
Oh, yeah. Marcella will come in, and she'll look around to see who's in here, but ultimately her focus is on the guy claiming to have hold on the city here. And she'll smile at him. And she'll offer a hand and say, "I'm Marcella Giovanni."
He will, he takes it, shakes your hand, and he says, "Greetings, Miss Giovanni." Yeah. Wasn't sure what your clan's presence or role in the city was, so I'm pleased to have you join us.
Well, when I heard that Crow went missing, I figured I should meet whomever replaced him.
Yes, I don't know what arrangements you've had with Mr. Crow. I understand he was pretty relaxed in his management of the city. And look where that's gotten us.
Yeah, it looks like hell in a handbasket from things I've heard going on.
It certainly is a mess.
True, we have shit blowing up everywhere, monsters in the streets.
Indeed.
Well, and unless anyone else wishes to join us, I will begin.
I'd be coming in. Jillian, new to the area, and just keeping a low profile. Well, was keeping a low profile for the time being. It's time to get to know how everything works.
Well, that's fair. It's yeah, I recognize this is a different situation for many people. Very rarely does someone proclaim independent leadership.
So that's what you're claiming? Independent leadership?
Correct. Well, I recognize that the Camarilla has methods behind their policies. Some of those are maybe not in the best interest of all the kindred and tend to be slanted to favor certain individuals. This isn't useful. It's also a system that encourages strife between individuals. We don't need more strife in this city.
Certainly.
But there are other rules that are beneficial. We don't need to go around advertising what we are. Because while we may have capabilities that exceed mortals, there's a lot more of them than us, and guns don't feel good.
Certainly.
No, they're not.
Right. So when do we agree with fortune?
Well, unless anyone had any other immediate questions, I'm certainly open to fielding any concerns.
Well, you said that you're going to attempt to have a more fair system, you're saying?
Yes, there needs to be a system in place, and as much as I recognize the intent behind the Crimmaging Council and the Prince offsetting one another, that immediately creates tension among leadership, and that's not conducive necessarily. Additionally, it leaves in the hands of the Prince the opportunity to decide who gets what. That's a system in which bribery and coercion become commonplace. Struggles and backstabbing. And while I recognize that is to some degree in our nature, there's a right and a wrong way to go about it and reason to do it. And to that end, I will not be doling out territories or claims. That will be between clans to sort out and lay claim. And if there is a conflict, they will resolve it between themselves in a manner that does not threaten our whole existence. Should we start having masquerade violations, brawls in the street between kindred, balls of shadowy darkness in the middle of restaurants, then myself and my staff will intercede and resolve this dispute. Think of me as serving more as an adjudicator rather than a political figure.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, Mr. Jones, I'm not sure exactly what clan you hail from, but in my experience in a Camarilla city, independents are relegated to the sidelines, unless they bribe their way in. Clans such as the Bruja, the Gangrel, and especially any offshoots or anti-tribu are relegated to lower quality feeding grounds, less desirable regions to claim havens in, that sort of thing. While the Ventru and the Toreador and your classic old world, old money cultures claim the best. And then you have the flip side where you have a Gangrel as a prince. And because he's so vindictive and fired up, he reverses the whole system. And now the Gangrel and the Bruja have the best, while the Ventru and the Toreador are deliberately snubbed. And they get irritated and frustrated. It's far easier to me, in my mind, to allow everyone to lay a claim, earn it, and then keep what they claim. And if they can't do that while upholding the masquerade, then I will uphold it for them, and they will end up not claiming anything.
So that's it?
Well, that is the simple version. Certainly, like any other adjudicator, I will weigh all factors. Someone who claims a territory simply because they want it, if they are in conflict with someone who is using it to actively benefit the whole of the kindred society, would have grounds to seek my support in their claim.
You mean you support eminent domain?
That is generally a valid claim. Very seldom exceptions exist.
So there's no point to have primitive council because you shouldn't return anything you can say, right?
The Primogene Council will serve as advisors, allowing them to, allowing a clan or group to offer in a single unified voice that entire group's position. Now, I recognize for some of the smaller clans, some of the offshoots, some of those who are traditionally not of the Camarilla, this might result in a smaller population. So, they can certainly form a coalition, if you will, and have a single representative for all of those more unique individuals. But the purpose here, again, is to ensure that there's effective communication, that I can, number one, get involved where appropriate, but number two, not waste my time in unnecessary squabbles.
I worry that if we only have one representative, that we will be outshouted every time.
Well, and again, depending on the final quantity, you may gravitate into smaller groups. In which case, those groups, if they're unique enough, may warrant having their own representative. For example, the clan lists. There are a sufficient number of clan lists here that they really warrant their own representative. Additionally, their representative is going to have different concerns than the representative of offshoots, for example. Or for traditionally Shabbat clans.
Yes, I suppose so.
So while I recognize that you may have to find a representative outside your comfort zone, this is also a tool to get you to step outside your comfort zone.
Interesting.
Now, Mr. Jones, you kind of indicated you might have multiple grievances. Did we address all of them, or did you have additional concerns?
Oh, you didn't talk about shit that I wanted to. It's all good, though. My turn?
If no one else has anything, you're welcome to go. I don't hear anyone else jumping in, so by all means.
What about these other supernaturals? Apparently, there's some kind of agreement that allows them to choose the method of punishment in their lands. There's some sort of agreement between us all that there are safe havens.
Well, I have not formally established any agreements with representatives from either group. I know the standing arrangement is that there are select places that are to be recognized as neutral and peaceful to all supernaturals.
Yeah, well, okay, sir.
We would view them as Elysiums. They view them as whatever their equivalent sacred, peaceful place would be.
And what if they don't have an equivalent to that?
Well, they should have something similar, but again, I recognize certain rules and regulations may need to be spelled out, in which case that can be addressed.
The issue is, Maria and Marcel over there, we were accosted by another member of the Night. And what was said was basically, they could do whatever they wanted to us. But if we did anything to them, we were going to catch bait. To the level of the person who claimed they were in charge of that area. They could choose prone punishment. I want the same right in our lands.
Well, that does seem reasonable if that's the method they have chosen to follow. I will have to look into this certainly, and it will warrant more discussion. But, again, we view it as an Elysium. We have rules in that Elysium. If they are violating those rules, then we have repercussions for that.
I want to be able to take them out.
That's understandable, and should they initiate that sort of violence, then certainly you have the right to defend yourself and respond as you deem necessary to ensure that you continue to be safe and healthy.
No, this person said that there was only one punishment for anyone, infraction, and that was a beat. I want the same thing here. There's only one punishment for any infraction. I can smoke you with a pack of coals.
Well, I think in the short term, that is something I could notify them we are implementing, and if they want it changed, then they can come here and we can discuss such a change.
That sounds delightful.
I don't want them being able to just decide they're going to toss the bad beat and there's not going to be any repercussions because they thought we did something wrong.
Well, unless there's some sort of agreement to that claim.
Would it be fairer if there was some kind of council between the various night folk that could assess a situation where there's some kind of infraction and agree communally on a punishment?
You there talking about idiot with me. They seem like they be into something like that.
What's that?
You were there talking with me to that idiot. Did they seem like they would be amenable to something like that?
They didn't necessarily seem like they would be amenable to something like that, but maybe their leaders would be.
Their leader was the one that was going to toss them a beat. Remember?
I'm sure there's more higher-ups than the people we talked to.
Gee, I understand.
I'm sure there is.
That said, though, if they aren't willing to take and follow what their leaders say, then what use would such a council be?
That's what I'm saying. We just can't be everywhere. We hold ourselves. We keep our laws. We hold our laws. But I do anyway. The place was known as the Storm Club.
That was the place. Apparently, we couldn't assemble there without being eavesdropped on, which is quite rude.
And if we asked them to leave,
And that is why I left. I didn't need one of them breathing down my neck.
Maria asked me not to cut his head off.
Only because I was worried that there would be repercussions that would affect all of us if you did that.
Okay, then my question comes up. Why are you guys meeting in an area that isn't ours?
Yeah,
Well,
Just curious.
I didn't know that it was specifically a shifter place. Otherwise, I might have been more discreet about choosing my venue. Stick to the Vox or something like that.
And now we know.
I mean, obviously, if we can't go somewhere and have a decent conversation without being eavesdropped, it sounds like the plan is to stick where, I mean, we could still get eavesdropped even in Elysians, but less nosy that way.
Yeah, at least then we have to work for it.
I still think it might be useful if we need to meet their kind for some reason, but beyond that, yes, I don't believe we should go back there. I admit that I made a mistake in choosing that place, and I apologize for the inconvenience that it's caused you, and she gestures to Marcella and Jacob.
Well, honestly, it sounds like we kind of got a little heads up about them. I mean, there are rumors of how they react to us. That just more confirmed what we know.
I was perfectly willing to set up, fight my way out.
Well, until they formally make another arrangement with me, if that is the method they have brought to you, then I will make it clear that we will be following the same accord. And if they have an objection, they can discuss it with me. And we will establish a different policy.
That only seems fair.
That seems amazing.
Now, forgive me for asking this, but I'm sure it's on everybody's mind, and I'm just the ballsy enough one to ask it. But no other prince has been able to hold this city for very long. What makes you different than the others?
They were busy playing games as prince, more worried about titles than accomplishing anything. I don't intend to sit in council indefinitely. I don't intend to sit here with my eyes closed, my ears plugged, and go la 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 and hope it goes away. I don't intend to let a council, who is more concerned with each of their individual groups that they represent than they are with accomplishing something, make decisions. The problem was there was too much indecision, too much chatting, too much independent moving, too many attempts at puppetry and shadow plays that nothing got accomplished, and that gaps were left open. And through those gaps came people like the Sabbat and these infernalists and whoever the vampires or the mages and the werewolves are having to deal with. These things that cause strife, these things that break down our systems and try and tear it all apart, get here because of incompetence or a simple lack of action. The difference is I'm not going to sit.
Okay, and on that very statement, what do you plan to do to help clean up the city?
Well, I have a group of clan lists that has had their, well, for lack of a better word, their leader named as a representative on the council. In exchange, they will begin acting, well, much the same capacity that your clan tends to act, just on a less precise scale. In my experience, one calls an ass mite when one needs a very complicated thing done quietly and efficiently.
He just smiles.
This is something that doesn't need to be quiet. It does need to be efficient. The Sabbat don't care about the masquerade. They don't care about staying hidden. Whoever summoned demons obviously doesn't care about a damn thing, or they wouldn't summon demons.
Or
Indeed.
they're foolish to believe the lies demons tell.
So, I need a task force, so to speak, of sufficient quantity to manage something like that
Can I make
without
a
constant
suggestion?
reinforcement.
Can I make a suggestion? If you really want cooperation in the city, make it a task force of mixed clans.
And I may establish something to that degree as well. Right now I have this task force of clanlists, which serves a couple functions. One, it shows any other clanlist that they're better off standing with us than standing alone, because they know here they will get respect and get the position that their qualities warrant. The other advantage to this is when you offer a group like the clan list an opportunity to be treated with equality and respect, if you uphold that and maintain it, they will maintain themselves as well. and they will begin to police themselves and equip themselves. But yes, cooperation will be key on all facets.
So, the home office okay with all this?
Well, at this point, I am the home office.
Well, as the only camera member in this room.
That was awesome.
Right?
What am I?
Well, there's a couple other NPCs around as well.
Okay, because this won't fly with the home office. Our Premier might have saved you with the prince. There's going to be eyes watching that don't buy that. My boss says you're the prince, okay, whatever, you're the prince. But home office, home branch might not think so. What are you going to do about that?
Well, step one, of course, is make it clear that it's in their best interest to just leave me the hell alone.
You can do kill every Archon shows up.
No. Fix all the problems that their people couldn't. Which, yes, will be a process. But, as they had stagnated in this city, any progress is better than where they had sat.
That's the plan.
Well, that's step one. Second is, yes, if it comes down to it, address any authority figures in the Camarilla that do show up. How that address occurs will be up to them, but I'm confident in saying that it will not affect the outcome.
Interesting.
So, not only are you going to take all comers, you're going to formulate a plan that systematically fixes a city that's been broken by 3 different princes.
Correct. I'm going to do it by eliminating argument, establishing a clearer chain of command, giving direction, taking the time to understand what individuals can contribute, and then utilizing them to their fullest. You've got a sniper, you don't send him into a knife fight. You don't send your knife fighter into a sniper shootout. The problems start when the prince is more concerned with making people happy than assigning responsibilities to those best qualified to carry it out.
Well, another question comes to mind. Why should the clan members want to follow you? I mean, other than you're making a lot of promises. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm willing to give you a chance, but you're making a lot of promises that they've heard countless times before. I'm sure the previous princes did the exact same thing, made all kinds of promises, and look where the city is.
Well, I've also taken
is
steps to begin implementing them as well.
In all fairness, nothing against the clan list, but many clans won't even acknowledge their existence.
Which is one of the reasons Primogen Bruja is currently deciding where he would like to establish his clan's territory. Because he has shown himself to be cooperative, he recognizes the value of differing schools of thought. He is willing to expend effort and commit his talents to improving things.
As I said, I'm sure these are just questions that have come up to everybody. I just apparently there are some people that aren't willing to ask these questions outright to you. And, but I think it needs to be
Understand.
asked because I think questions need to be answered.
That's
So,
a valid concern as well.
mhm. I mean,
Okay.
these particular clans have been doing things their way for a very long while. We can see it in many other cities.
That's
How are
true.
you to break that, for lack of a better term, tradition?
Well,
Already did. As long as the primogen stand with them, the Camarilla vampires will, even if they don't want to, stand with them. Second
Let,
loses the primogen now. Well,
but let's
see,
all remember one thing: the Primogen are also looking out for themselves, and they won't think twice about stabbing him in the back as soon as they get a chance.
you got cheer in the way.
which is also why, again, measures have been put in place to make sure that they are in certain established roles.
I mean, unfortunately, power corrupts all the time, no matter what. And I'm not necessarily saying your position, but this Primogen may see this power vacuum. Even if they acknowledge your leadership, they may see it as a power vacuum that needs to get filled. So they may be kowtowing and kissing your ass now, but what they're doing behind closed doors is plotting to destroy you like all the others have been before. You know, I'm not asking for your exact plans on how to solve that problem. I'm just asking how you can, you know, because as I said, you're making a lot of promises, and I really hope it does work out better than the previous princes because they suck, apparently. Yes, pretty much. yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. But in all fairness, I've seen time and time again, most of those in power within the Camarilla society are only out for themselves. They only kowtow for so long.
Same can be said for any clan, Camarilla or not.
True.
Yes. We do not hold the monopoly of power mongering. Sorry, buddy.
But your entire sect seems to hold the monopoly on it more than anybody else, because how many cities do you guys own?
We made the choice to not join the Camarilla. We didn't make you not join.
I mean, and the Camarilla is not exactly friendly to other organizations.
It's because the Camarilla knows that only they enforce the masquerade. No other sect does.
That's funny.
You abide by it, live with it because it keeps you alive, but we enforce it. Amongst our own members. We can't make anybody else do it. That's Sabbat is straight crazy.
Oh, I don't argue that at all. I completely agree that Sabata is straight crazy. I mean, I'm just curious how it's going to work in this city, considering, as we all know, and again, no offense to the Camarilla here, but they have a history of showing that they don't like giving up cities ever.
They apparently didn't give it up.
No, the princes that they allowed to be in power in this city gave it up. So in a sense, they kind of gave it up.
So were you here?
I just got here.
So you don't know. Because I don't know. You don't know either.
I mean, from what was just said, 3 different princes have been in this city. What the hell's been going on in the city? There's Sabbat running around. And God knows what other kind of crazy shit's going on that we're not aware of.
There's Sabbat running around everywhere.
Busy sliding knives in each other's backs to worry about it.
That's the big issue, is there's too much backstab. What I'm trying to see is if we can get some kind of way to get everybody to work together, whether you're Camarilla or independent.
Not without a structure. No.
Well, I'm hoping that's what this gentleman here, is working to achieve. But like I said, I'm just asking questions that will come up. Other people will be asking the same questions I'm asking. I just don't care about, being subtle about it. Why? You know, the
Doesn't have
subtlety is
structure.
what's getting everybody destroyed.
He's not proposing a structure. He's proposing a dictatorship. That's all this is. You can French it up all you want. It's a dictatorship.
Moms. I mean, he is right about that, but you know, either way, as long as it works, I don't care. We all know
It may
what my
be what
plan
this
is
city
affiliation.
needs.
That's what the city's going to get. They're not going to need it. All right. So you're the boss,
Still,
right?
thing.
Like I said, I'm willing to give this guy a chance and see how things go. And I'm sure my clan will agree with me on that.
Well, that would certainly make life easier, wouldn't it?
I mean, I understand this is
Well,
not going to
I
be
may
as
not
easy.
speak for
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Mario.
the independents, but I do know that at least between several of us, we're quite motivated to fix the problems that the city has encountered.
I mean, me
To that
personally,
end,
one of the first things I do is these people who've been doing nothing since before many of us got here, they need to be removed, because if they're not doing anything then, what are they going to do now?
That's a valid point, and some of that has occurred. The Ventru have elected a new voice for the council, someone who will be more active, perhaps who can offer out their alternatives. We've also welcomed and included some newly formed clans and offshoots. But your concern about things just kind of being left alone is a valid one.
I mean, it does worry me. I'm sure there are kindred within the city that have been here since the original prince, the prince 3 princes ago, was here. And if they were here and they let all this go, what's the point of them continuing?
And again, this is where we run into some of the wrinkles where they need to see results, and I need them to be involved to show them those results. So it's...
Well, not to kind of, take place there for a second, but if I were you, I'd make them prove themselves why they should stick around.
Where?
Because they ain't done shit lately. Let's be honest. If they had done shit, the city wouldn't be as bad as it is. They let it get to this point. So they have to prove to you that they deserve to stick around.
And there are some that are getting involved. There are some that have valid skills outside the power structure, so to speak. The traditional one.
I mean, fair. I don't know what kind of conversations you have with other people, so I don't know if you have some of these people. But the only thing I can think of is if they haven't done anything any time before, what makes me think they're going to do anything for this city now? Unless they have the penalty of final death, they're not going to do anything to fix the city, because they could have beforehand and chose not to.
Well, as I mentioned, yes, they have had the opportunity before.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes both ways as well. did they have reasonable support?
Fair enough.
Were they motivated?
Again, yeah. Like Mr. Jones here said, I just got here to the city. He just got here to the city. So we don't really know what happened with the other princes. But either way, even as a Camarilla member, and I'm sure Mr. Jones will agree with me, the last thing you want to do is let this fall to the Samat. Let a city you had fall to the Samat no matter what. I don't care if you like the prince or not.
It ain't just looking at it one dimensional. That won't work that way. It ain't just the prince that you got that you're taking into account. It's the other vamps in the city with him who's fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, be they independent, be they cam, if they were sitting around not doing shit, they need to get a phone check. Doesn't matter who it is.
Well, that's why I wasn't specific in, sex. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there might be some independents here who really need to get their ass whooped. And personally, I don't blame this gentleman here in the least if he does, because if they were sitting here and letting everything fall to shit, kind of deserve what they get.
You can put your toy soldier clanless away and hire a crew out to do the job. I'll smoke anybody.
But would that keep the support of the claimless if he does that? That's the catch. I mean, I know you probably don't really care, but obviously he cares about the clanless. If you pull them off of them, that kind of thing, then it's, he has to do the whole switcheroo and figure out what they can do next.
Some Luke army that's not got no leadership or respect.
Again, my 2 cents. Whether they take it, whether they not.
Well, it has to be
I could be
offered.
hired out tomorrow and be out of the city, so I mean, But for now, I'm worried about the state of the city.
I've already secured a $2 million contract. I ain't going nowhere.
You don't understand how we work. Usually I don't have a choice. The money's good, we take it. But, I mean, I want to help this city. I want to see it prosper. I damn sure want to see it fall to the spot. And, well, I'd rather see it continue up and running rather than turn into a giant cesspool. I think
Who's
that's not the in the world.
Usually we got the prince saying he wants to do shit. We got the Primogen saying they're going to do shit. What are the independents going to do? What are they bringing it to?
Well, I think you already know I'm willing to assist in...
You're one guy.
Agreed. I can't speak for the rest of my
I've always
clan.
been willing to have my people assist, but communication isn't there.
You got a phone?
I have a phone, yes.
Okay.
If nobody wants my help, then I don't want it.
What do you do?
Forgive me if I'm of that mindset with all the former issues prior. Like I said, I have always been open to helping. Nobody's been open to asking or sharing information. And communication and information sharing is a big thing. We want to get this done. You know
True.
something that could help? Say it.
Okay.
If you don't, it is what it is.
Okay, Prince. You got one problem. Just one. You got no plan for or an objective to tackle. You need to pick something. Send your troops after it. And take the objective. Because right now it's locked to gold sheet of paper. It's a declaration of what you're going to do. You need to go do something. What's the action you want us to take? So go take it.
I agree with Mr. Jones. If you don't give us an action, if you don't send people out to do something to prove that what you say is what you want to do, there's going to be a lot of disbelief. And, that's kind of why I was questioning, is because I kind of want to, send us out, put us on assignment, let us go. We'll handle it.
Well, who's been in the city longest?
I think that would be her.
Hmm.
Okay, what's the problem? Let's go fix it. You tell us what needs to be fixed, I will apply pressure and fix it.
And I will assist in every method at my disposal.
What do you got?
So, I mean, just point us at something and basically let us off the leash, is basically what he's saying.
I mean, would the Sabbat be the best thing to tackle right now?
Oh yeah, because I can get sick by myself. Good job. Good plan.
Well, I think what she's referring to, I think what she's referring to is the fact that, smaller targets, obviously, small groups. If there are roving packs of Sabbat, which even the proclaimed prince you're saying, then, we could probably deal with those issues. I mean, your clan is very well known for its ability to handle matters.
I don't even know what you guys do. We grew up. We got an army behind me of well-trained individuals with lots of firepower. Point me at something so I can kill it.
You give me a target, I will make it disappear.
You want to
So
shoot
what we need is what I think you call actionable intelligence.
That's
I don't need any actual intelligence. We could be alive. I don't care who the fuck it is. We want to send a message. We can send a fucking message. You want to blow up the building when the bad guys live? Sure. You want to take out the shifters and tell them to go fuck themselves? Sure, I can do that. What do you want to do? Whose dick do you want me to step on? Because that's what you're asking. You want to send a message. I need to step on someone's cock. Who's it? Or throat if they don't have a cock.
A lot of penis hate here. Yeah, Lucian goes, just point us at it. I mean, you got two people right here willing to assist in any endeavor that you see need to be taken care of at this moment.
See,
Not
that's
to
the problem.
mention her clan is also up for offer, it seems to be.
Who's playing?
Hers, Marcella's,
What's the plan?
Giovanni.
the Giovanni.
The city would still be crawling with that blood virus if it weren't for myself and the few efforts of a few others.
So you're a doctor?
Yes.
Meds are cool. So, Audrey, which one of your problems would you like me to get rid of? Extreme prejudice.
Is there somebody sleeping?
Yeah, I think so. I hear snoring.
Sorry to get off topic, but I just heard, and I'm like, what? John, you awake? John! Holly, go wake John up.
I'm about 3 hours away right now, but I don't think that happened.
I think it might be John. He might actually have been so tired he just fell asleep. I don't know. Jim, you still there with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, so yeah, it's John.
I'm calling him.
Process elimination. This session will go on forever. I can hear his phone ringing. He is passed out. He is hardcore passed out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
There's gonna be a long fucking thing at the end of this episode.
Unless his computer automatically shuts off or goes, sometimes even Google will stop it after a while. But yeah, it does usually take a while. Yeah, you hear the phone in the background.
I'm gonna keep calling him until he wakes up.
I was like, I wonder why he was so quiet.
No wonder he didn't answer Marcus's question of
I know,
like,
it's like-
what do you want us to do?
I was like, man, he is awfully quiet.
The Ardry turns out to be a narcoleptic. He got too excited and passed out.
A vampire narcoleptic. That's hilarious.
Just some pain in the ass with Math and Morpheus.
What about
Wake up, John. God
Madison?
damn. Johnny.
John, wake up!
Well, at least we have a place to a jump off point from for Blue Books and
Yeah.
Sustenance.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to kind of end it here and just hope it eventually closes on its own.
Okay, so in the end, what's going to happen is what? Marcella's going to go find us something to kill.
Yep. Until John wakes up.
It's you won the bounty because you're the only one here who's been here the entire time. So only you know where to go.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
the
only
only
you.
one that can find things to kill. No. The Camarilla did a really good job of shutting her out of information.
man.
The only time they were willing to have her help was when they needed something, aka that virus, the vaccine for that virus.
Well,
So,
I don't have any. I don't care now.
a lot of this stuff, yeah.
A lot of this is all attitude that none of us have, so. I mean, but in character, all we know is that you're the one who's been here the longest, so we're going to look to you. Since apparently the Roger went to sleep.
All right, let's get back in character and let's finish the scene.
Okay.
okay, yeah. So, wait.
We'll just say, he went off. And
Let's see. Last time we were talking what to do, and we were asking Marcella about what to do.
Jacob had said that since she was in the city the longest, if there was any problems that was in the city that she was aware of, that something that we could, an actual target, so we can make a move for this Yahoo that says he's going to do some shit.
Not in my room.
You're back.
Yeah.
It was still. Oh.
Oh, John, you should have just waited on this scene. Poor guy.
Let's just bow out gracefully. Actually, we can still talk. Jacob's looking at YouTube and goes, "You two thinkers, right? Like smart, savvy people."
Yeah.
I tried.
Okay. I have lots of money.
Okay.
I have funky buttloads of money and lots of guns.
Okay.
So, I will give you a loan. You use that to establish something and find out things. And then tell me those things so that I can go kill them. Because that's what I do. Is that
Fair
simple enough for you to understand?
Perfectly.
That
I mean,
person...
I've already been investigating a lot of the things anyways, checking on various empty locations, stuff like that. Anything we can use in our previous talk, Mr. Jones.
I don't know who she is because she's just stood there and said nothing.
So
I haven't met her before either, so I couldn't tell you.
Moving on with my own life. Now, you are apparently in cahoots with the Giovanni. Yes?
I would say so, yeah.
Use that connection to gain me information.
I will use my contact as well as go out and look around and see if I can't pick up on things. Maybe get some
There-
pictures from these people.
In addition, I think if you're willing to give me some money here, I might be able to set up a way to street, as it were.
To what?
Get my ear to the street, listen about what's going on
That's
the
a whole
street.
lot like that. That's not a whole lot of if coming off that plan. No dice.
Yeah, well,
Probably the
That's,
best idea, Miss Maria, is to make contacts first. Talk to people, just random people. At least obviously, mostly some of our kind. Find out what maybe
Well, that's
they
what
have
I
that we
was-
don't know.
that's what I was getting at. I'm a psychologist, and I was thinking if I set up a clinic, people would come to me and talk about things that are going on in the city that are stressful to them, and that might point us in the direction of some problems.
Alright, we're going to use the simple, retarded way, because the Bruja way is really simple. We find Nosferatu. Nosferatu tell us things to shoot. And then we shoot them. This is not complicated.
True.
So, you're going to make contacts with the sneaky killer people. You find me some Nosferatu
Do my best.
that know things. I will give you money to do these things. And then I will
I can
kill
follow.
whatever you point me at.
I can probably find where you can get some Nosferatu and talk to some Nosferatu.
We need intel on vampire-specific problems. So the idiots that didn't have the sense to come in here and ask this idiot what he's going to do can know that he's actually doing something. So they're just talking about doing something.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was my big concern. Is it sounded like a lot of talk, but I haven't seen a lot of action so far. Again, we just got here, but I definitely
Well,
think we need to make moves and make
so-
them now.
So has the Ardrai. He's just gotten here too, and like you said, we need to make moves. We need to prove that our claim, as it were, in this government is valid.
Well, I don't buy it for a second, but my permission says it's okay, so okay.
I'm just rolling with what it is. I mean, at the present time.
All right, then that sounds like a plan. I will go talk to my people as well as see if maybe I can get you a contact for the Nosferatu.
It's just easy enough.
That way you can deal with the Nosferatu and I can continue wandering around the city. I have been taking a survey of the city when I have some chances and taking down some areas that could be beneficial to us later on down the road.
So you need to establish a haven quickly. Two of you need to establish havens quickly.
Easy enough. I mean, I already have a place to live right now, and it's pretty
No.
decent.
Not a place you live, a place you can work out of. That other Assamites know who you are. You need to be the spokesperson for the Assamites. Just as you need to, I don't know what the hell you are, but whatever you are, you need to be the spokesperson for Maria.
What's that? I missed the last part of what you said.
I'm going to give you money to establish yourself.
I appreciate that. I will
Get your
do
own place.
what I can with it.
Get your own place away from everybody else. If your clan shares, if you have more of your clan in here and they're sharing a spot, get your own place is what they're saying.
Interesting.
You have to stand out.
You're-
above the others.
Yeah, your own place that you can work at and that you can do other things at. Work as
Oh.
in not your psychiatric job, but more of
Right.
your fang job.
Night work, as it were.
Correct. I will get my own location for my activities.
I mean, as it happens, I have been looking at some places already because I will be making some money there shortly.
I can get you a list of some apartments I ran across on my trips through the city.
I was thinking something more like a house would be.
I can
what
focus
would
my
like
I can
to work
focus my attention there too. I mean, what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a lot of recon throughout the city, basically trying to get my own general idea of what the hell is going on, who are the problem children, and which ones need to be taken out of the picture. I would like some, it would be nice to have some extra intel, like specifically locations to go to and, stake out, so to speak. So any of that information would be helpful. But as I said, for now I have plenty of places where we can solve our problems with some of these people in a less public area.
Yes. Jacob, I don't think you were there, but this part of this rolls over from a previous plan that we had when we met with Uncle Istvan and Felix King. Oh, you were there? I thought you weren't.
I thought he was.
Shit.
I don't remember.
I apologize if I forgot that you were there.
I don't remember out of character. I think he was, but I can't remember specifically. My brain is kind of fried at this point.
I thought Ari was the other person that was in that scene.
Well, I know at least involving Uncle Istvan and the Bruja Primogen, I know Jacob. Which ironically.
The Bruja Primogen. No, that's the Operation Meat Market. I was talking about the scene that Felix King
I have a meeting
got.
Meat Market to find out what the hell is going on there.
Basically, what we decided is that you had to step away from them. So basically, we were trying to figure out who's our perfect target to hit. Maria's going to go to the Nosferatu just to catch up. Maria's going to try and go to the Nosferatu, talk to them, see if the Nosferatu can give us some clues as to who are the problem children that is a problem for the kindred alone. Basically, fuck all the other supernaturals. We're just worried about what our vampire problems right now.
Oh, actually, that you've reminded me of something saying that.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I'd have to look up the name again, but though there is a gang out there that does have sabotage.
Really?
Yeah.
Looks over at Jacob. Sounds like we might have the target.
That does sound like a lead.
Yeah, I just wish I could remember the name off the top of my head. It's something like the Burning Men or something like that, but I can't quite remember. And if I looked it up, I'll end up hanging up.
Well, Miss Giovanni, is there someone you have in mind that we can target while we're getting all this other intel?
Not directly, but do you recall when I made mention of creating that vaccine?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I stumbled across somebody who needed it, and when I gave them to this individual, it didn't work.
So what does that mean?
So I went and had their blood tested.
Oh, I see.
Because it's worked. As long as you took the proper vaccine, it was based off of by clan, so each clan has their own vaccine.
Okay.
It turned out that it was one of the, it wasn't one of the main clans, and upon
Which clan?
investigating, having it looked into further, turns out this individual was not who they said they were, but rather a Bali.
What?
Yes. Which means we have one of those running around re-embracing people.
Hey, Jacob, you got a target.
No. The individual in question is also the one that caused the breach in the restaurant.
Again, Jacob, you have a target.
I
see the problem with this.
Apprehended, however, getting answers from him would be most helpful. I have reason to suspect.
AKA, you don't want to punch him in the nuts and step on his face.
They are within the church.
You mean
Honestly, at this point, even a Bali in the city is a danger and should be removed without worrying about questioning his ass, finding out more information.
I'm not really
But-
familiar with what the Bali are. It doesn't sound good, but
I've only heard reports. I don't know specifics, but from everything I've heard, they're not good news.
No, not good news.
here's the thing, though. I think questioning him might be worthwhile. Where did you say he was right now?
That's a very good question.
So you
Oh.
don't know. Okay. But I was thinking questioning him might be good in case he's re-embraced or sired any child, or if you
One
want
question.
him gone.
Oh. The individual's name that I'm speaking of, that I know by name, his name is Dante. And as far the last I knew, he was being dealt with for a masquerade breach.
And who said they were dealing with him?
Repeat that?
Who said they were dealing with him?
I don't know.
So somebody just told you that he's being dealt with, but they didn't tell you who was dealing with him. And they wonder why the city was
Let me
falling.
put it this way.
Jesus. Wow, that's
I
a lot.
don't
No.
know where he is being kept or who apprehended him. If he had not been apprehended, he probably would have tried to contact me if he could.
How come I have a feeling there's more to that story than what you're telling? Why would he want to contact you?
Before he was re-embraced into whatever that was, I was seeing him, and then I found out what he was.
Ah.
He was putting an end to that. Now, like I said,
Okay.
somebody changed him, and I have reason to suspect it's within the church. But I have no solid evidence on that, just suspicion. And this is based on the fact that the man was a priest and spent most of his time with the church.
Banging
Most
priest.
of his time. I'm a little. Okay.
That's what I think they call a kinky.
Hmm.
So we need to locate this guy, locate who's holding him, and looking to whoever's holding him, because obviously they're not doing their job in getting information sorted out and finding out what's really going on.
The
And
only
then
I'm
we
unsure
use our own techniques to
back of a police
draw
car.
So we use our own techniques to draw information out of this Dante.
Torch
I
doesn't
have a
work.
problem
You got
with
the
that.
superpowers?
Me personally, no, but I'm sure someone we can find in the city does.
Okay.
Like I said, he liked to hang out within the church.
My superpowers aren't exactly
However-
designed for that kind of work.
So, biker gang or weird guy, we don't know where he's at.
I mean, both right now are possibilities. At least that's two targets, gives us something to go on. We can start digging for at least those two bodies. I mean, biker gang should be easy. That'd be a little more obvious. So that'd be, that could probably be taken care of pretty quick. Especially with your clan's ties to
He put some
various.
eyes in the church for certain. Cousin.
Kitty. He's jumping down.
Has some ties within the church.
Okay.
So, the focus
Well-
is what?
Well, how about we put you focused on the biker gang, since you'll probably find them a bit easier. And for the more in-depth investigation, we'll leave it up to Maria, myself, and Miss Giovanni here, and even, I'm sorry, Miss, I didn't catch her name. Jim, that's your character.
He's on mute now.
What do you want me to do with this biker gang when I find them?
They are supposed to have ties to the Sabbat.
That is not an answer to my question.
I think
Personally, I could care less. Destroy them.
maybe get some information out of them and then destroy them.
I look like an interrogator to you.
Well,
Okay, save
Luckily,
one for us.
I'm
Look,
sure
dudes,
in a pinch, you could manage it.
people lie. They got vampire abilities. I ain't one of them.
Well, how about you save us one? You can have fun with the rest. Save us one, bring it to us, and we'll deal with the interrogation.
You do know what we're about to do, right?
If he can at least talk, would be appreciated. I don't care if he's disabled from the waist down.
I need that okay from the friends. That's at least Cameron thinking.
Yeah, true.
First says you're gonna whack them, no problem. You guys send me to whack them, that's a nice idea.
Alright, well, I mean, if you just want to be on standby until we can get more information about both groups, about this individual and this group, that's fine. And, while we're doing that, I'll also be, I'll be doing some investigating of the city, trying to find out more information. Maria here, if you could ask questions. Lots of questions.
Certainly will.
Miss Giovanni, if you want to assist in any way you can, if you have contacts in certain areas that could be helpful to us, we'd appreciate it. Miss, we don't know your skill set yet, so we don't know.
Jillian, see, basically, not much of an actual skill set right now. It's more of a political character, so I'm trying to change that a little bit. But though I do have contact with quite a few lowlights.
He goes, you're a Politico?
Well, that's the original idea, but it's not quite working.
We need one.
Or hasn't quite worked.
We really do. Yeah, we really do need one. So probably your best bet is to continue focusing on that. I'm sure Ms. Giovanni can help you get some ties to people that could be beneficial. If she's willing to help. I'm not going to, basically tell her she has to help.
I'll do it. You gotta help me.
She just kind of chuckles. Yeah, that's the brew off for you.
You're the only one that knows anybody here. Suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah, I mean, really, you, Miss Giovanni, you're going to be the most beneficial to us because you're one of the ones who's been here the longest who can give us information that we're going to need. Whatever ties you have can be beneficial to us.
And if this endeavor is successful, then that will give us more bargaining power to implement this system that we've been talking about, where the Camarilla and the independent clans would work alongside each other. It would lend some credence to that action, and that could benefit you.
Right now, as Mr. Jones has said, right now it seems like a lot of talk and, fluffery. If we don't enact what this gentleman wants us to do, then that's all it is. It's talk and fluffery. And I think that's probably what some of the Prime Ministers are hoping for, is him just to be all talk and never back up anything. Because apparently it's worked so far with the other princes, at least from what we can gather. Unless there were other means at work.
I'll speak to my Primogen about actually giving a shit about what he's saying.
Good.
Not you guys, her. She's been here. And she's got power, apparently.
Well, I would assume being the Giovanni in this city, from what Giovanni I know, they seem to be pretty entrenched in certain aspects of the city.
All I know is they have lots of small arms. Not about a rock launcher.
I know some other rumors about them, but I don't go into this.
Well, they certainly are an influential clan, if nothing else.
I've been trying to keep my nose out of a lot of the Camarilla's business when they were here, unless asked to help. So
Yeah,
Well,
you kind of have to.
Because they didn't seem to want me around in the first place, even when I had information. So
Well, right now, what I'm telling you is fuck what you were told previously. This is new leadership, new setup. May still kind of follow the camera away,
Lucian, it
but
doesn't work that way with them.
damn
They have a thing.
very much out of the loop on a lot of the things going on.
Because there's a thing.
What thing?
There's
I
a
don't
thing.
know. Something? Okay.
A thing.
The thing. Okay, gotcha.
You
No
mean
comment.
some kind of deal?
It's a thing. I'm not going to talk about it, Chief. I'm going to talk about it.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, do what you can within your ability, Miss Giovanni. How about that? At least help us. You know, I don't give a fuck about everybody else. As far as I'm concerned, right now, all the others are just a waste of time. Because if they haven't done anything yet, they're not doing anything now.
Yeah.
Until I see action from them, I have no worries about them. They are just problems in the way for now.
Yes. And a pardon me for mixing metaphors, but we all have to sink or swim together, or else everything will just burn to shit.
Really buy that?
So, what do you say we exchange various information so that way we can keep in contact with each other?
We already did that, Lucian.
Well, yeah, I mean, aside from those of us who have already exchanged.
She's like, I think I have contact information for all of you except one. And she
Yeah,
looked-
Jillian here. You're the new person in this little
One
thing.
of us.
We
One of
directly
us.
met each other.
Lucian, do you have my new phone number?
No, if you got a new number, I can use it.
Yeah.
My number stayed the same. I'll tell you when I change it.
I'm not calling anybody.
All right.
We'll hand Jillian a business card.
Solution. Jillian, you just got a bunch of business cards. You got kind of.
I'll hand out some of mine.
Okay. Excellent.
It's a tattoo shop off the street.
For the record, the contact information is for a funeral home.
Her contact information. The rest of us don't have that. All right, then it sounds like a plan. It sounds like what we need to do is we need to get our butts moving, use whatever influence, ties, any skills that we have, even if it's political, and start working our magic.
Oh, yeah. Don't fuck
Yes.
me up.
I don't plan on it.
Yeah, that seems like it would be the height of stupidity fucking you over, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. You guys might feel the need to fuck me over. Just don't. I'm just suggesting you not.
I don't
Look,
like
if I have the urge to, I will resist it.
Even if you accidentally fuck me up, I'm still going to be pissed.
No, I can't say anything about accidentally. Shit.
Just warning you, I got this whole little trail thing. It's crazy.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. So we all go our separate ways. We all work on getting things done, and we formulate some kind of plan.
You receive your cashier's checks as soon as I get to my banker.
Gotcha.
Okay. And Lucian, like I said, I would appreciate your help in selecting an appropriate haven.
That's fine. I can help you with that. I mean, hell, you can go on tours with me through the city because I'm still, trying to mark things down in my own little map.
That sounds
So that way we have a general reference for certain areas that we may need to target next after our little encounters.
Right. That seems like a good plan.
But I usually do
would be
research on the
glad to
areas for
accompany
those.
you.
I usually do research on the areas before I post them as targets.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have this
Yes.
target on my board. I got red in my ledger. Somebody owes me. You heard about somebody named Fang. Let me know.
Okay. Fangs.
Some sort of goddamn animal.
His name doesn't sound familiar, but alright, I'll keep an ear out then. Right? Well, with that, Lucian,
NC.
with that, Lucian walks out. So
Yep.
we'd all
Take
tell John to hit the button, but we know he's still sleeping.
We just kind of leave, right?
Night.
Yeah, just leave and let. Oh, John's awake.
Yep.
Sort of.
John's here.
You were sleeping there a minute ago.
Sleep is a relative term, but yeah, I get what.
Well, you were
No,
unconscious.
you were unconscious. I called you a bunch.
Yeah. You were so unconscious, we heard the phone ringing and you just ignoring it.
Okay, here are the clip notes, John. Ready?
John, you with us still?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to hit the button, or are we good?
He's going to give. Well, you can hit the button. He'll give you clip notes afterward, I'm sure. Really doesn't need to be in a scene.
Alright. In that case, we will wrap up here. It sounds like we have some plans in motion, or at least formulation of them.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for joining. This has been another Minneapolis by Night Vampire.